Hi everybody, it's a Geo Doctor coming at you today from the Geo Doctor's office. I'm here to present you with my final contest entry into the Dr. Cranky build-off as posted and sponsored by Badass Canadian. I'm here today to let you take a look at my model and to discuss the model and to let you know that I know this is probably the losing entry, but I've had a lot of fun doing this. I've learned an awful lot, and let me show you the model, and then I'll get into explaining some of the difficulty that I had with this model. And I think it's important that I do that. I apologize for the speed of my new display, but it does display rather quickly. Give me 1 second here. Knock something off my table. That's not good. Don't want to do that. There we go. And here we go. And here I go fighting with this camera again. There it is, everybody. Try and level it out a little bit. I can't see a thing. I hope you people do. Where the hell is this thing? Whoa, just about lost it. All right. Now I have a whole slideshow presentation coming up for you, and you can get some better looks at the car when I'm done this presentation today. And I think it does a lot more to show off the car than what these pictures do. On this build, I had the opportunity to do a number of things that I've never done before. As shown in my very first video for the Cranky build, on this car, I was able to tub a vehicle, which is something I've never done before. And what I did was I took the back end off this chassis and combined it with the AMT 66 Nova Pro Stock. The other thing I did is I switched out the motor. And I took the small flathead V8 out of this, and I put a 429 fully blown Chev under it. And as you can see from the pictures, it has the wide slicks on the back. It also has a functional active blower scoop that I put onto the 49 Merc. I was also able to add onto this my first aluminum drive shaft. Again, I did do an upholstery job on the interior where I used real silk cloth. I'm going to do a video for you guys who may not know how to put real cloth in a car, but if you don't, I'm going to do a video showing you how I do it. I'm presently doing a Chev 3100, the Texaco pickup by Revell, and I'll give you an idea how I actually upholster these cars with real cloth. One of the other things I was able to do is I ran brake lines on this vehicle, which is something I'd never done before. And as far as the motor goes, the only two things that I really wasn't able to accomplish was the upper and lower rad hoses. With my hands being what they are, fellas, not having any feeling, those are very delicate parts, and even using tweezers, I've not yet been able to master doing that. However, this was the very first car I've ever done where I managed to get the rear view mirror put on the windshield. This is the only car I've ever managed to do that with. Hands being what they are, it's something that when you apply it to the window, it just you're taking such a chance of putting glues all over the windshield, and it just ruins the effect of the entire car. All right, moving along. What I have here, I hope everybody can see this. This is another styrene body belonging to the 49 Merc. Now, this was the first car I've ever built that I've actually opened up the doors. And I was very proud of that, and I was very happy I did it up until the very last day before I was ready to post this video. When the car finally came together, let me get my handy dandy pointer here. If you will look at this part of the model, right here where the A-arm comes down and meets, okay, this part of the car. Can you see that opening right here? Okay, on most cars you will find that opening has styrene going from here to here. Now, when I did my Cranky car, here's what happened. Without me knowing it, when you look at the Cranky car and you look at the pictures, when the hood is sitting on the car, the front of the hood is flush with the front of the car. As you come back up towards the windshield, you end up with a 1/8 inch gap. Now, I was really perplexed as to where that 1/8 of an inch went. And I studied it for 3 days, and I quite easily figured out that if you take a 32nd of an inch off the top, a 32nd of an inch off each side of the doors right here, and another 32nd of an inch down here to open the door, that's 1/8 of an inch. That's how much styrene you're going to lose. So that accounted to me for the 1/8 of an inch opening that was right here. But it still didn't account for the alignment problem. Then it hit me. All these other cars that you see experienced modelers, when they open the doors, they do not have this gap. Now, Dr. Cranky, Badass Canadian, I know Atomic Dog, I know that you face this challenge in other builds. And you guys know, and I'm going to tell you this right now because I never want anybody to feel what I've just felt. When you spend 2 months putting a build together and you find out it comes out and it's not in alignment, it is really disappointing. What happens as soon as you take these doors out? The only thing that holds this car from the front to the back is 1/8 of an inch of styrene that runs right along this bottom edge on both sides. There is 1/8 inch styrene on this very bottom edge here. That's the only thing that keeps this front and the back from wanting to bend, and keeping this and this from moving outwards. They just spring open. Now, they don't spring open a lot. You will not notice that. You will not notice that when you cut these cars open. You will not see that springing open. It's very subtle. Now, when you put the car back together, the tub, everything fits right in. How could you avoid this? Well, I thought maybe if I was to put Monte Carlo bars across here, I call them Monte Carlo bars because that's how I learned what they were called. But really, you'll see these a lot on rally cars, a lot on NASCAR now, but they put wheel support struts or frame supports right across, usually in an X fashion, across the engine cage. And if you were to do that, well, that would hold the fenders in their original spot. The problem is you're not going to get the motor in it. Okay. If you try to run a structural support this way on the car, from side to side, what's going to happen is it's going to have to go underneath here, and then when you put your tub in, your dashboard's going to hit it, so the tub won't go in and the dashboard won't fit properly. The only way that you can open these doors up and keep the structural integrity of your car intact before you cut these doors out, you must fill this gap right here. You must attach this styrene up here down to this fender. If you don't, you will have the same heartbreaking problem that I ran into. So that's a word of warning, and I wanted to share, even in defeat, there's wins, guys. I've learned that, over 28 years of having handicaps and challenges. Things go wrong, but sometimes there's a way to fix them, and sometimes you just learn the hard way. And this was a really painful lesson for me, because I really put a lot of effort into this car. I mean, I went a half a dozen different ways that I've never gone before. And normally when I build one new thing each build. And this time I did about 7. And I really was excited to attempt to open the doors, and I did it. I did it successfully, but I didn't understand the engineering problem that I was going to encounter by doing this. So for any of you guys who have, like Dave Parker, I know you've never opened doors before, check your cars, check your models, and if you're unsure, ask another builder who has built the model that you want to do, whether or not they have successfully opened the doors, or they know anybody who have successfully opened the doors. And by all means, once again, if you see this in any model build, this camera, if you see this in any of your model builds, where this little bit of styrene has been taken out, where basically the hood of the car right here rests, if anything's missing out of there, now's the time to get some plain styrene and gap that. Fill that gap, putty it in, sand it down. But if you don't attach that, I'm telling you right now, your car will yaw like this, ever so slightly, mind you, and your doors will be a little tight with closing, and you're going to be disappointed in the final finish of your car. And there's no way that that hood will ever sit on that car properly. So, to Badass Canadian, it's been an absolute ball doing this model. Disappointing at the end part when I came across where I made my structural error. There is no way to correct this once you get this far, guys. There's absolutely no way to correct it. The car's put together. There's just no way you can go backwards on this build. You just literally have to throw it in the purple pond, and with only 2 weeks left to go in the contest when I found this out, you wouldn't have time to do it. Anyways, I've got my Toothless Zombie Hunter shirt on today for Dr. Cranky. Dr. Cranky, I hope you enjoy this car. I'm going to send you some pictures of the car because with just a few exceptions, I really wanted to honor you by using as many of your stencils from your stencil kits to produce this dragster. I wanted, this is a Dr. Cranky build, and I wanted to advertise you, Dr. Cranky. I wanted people to know that this is a Dr. Cranky car. By the way, the driver is Virgil. I did put your name on it, but you're in the passenger seat because, after all, you're the doctor, and that little guy should be, well, he's your servant, so let him do the driving. There are some bullet holes on the front dock. What can I say? Angry patients, people who want to beat us in a race maybe. Who knows who was shooting at us? Stuff happens. I hope you enjoy this, Dr. Cranky. Once again, I probably went through 12 or 13 of your different videos just to pick and choose things that I'd never done before that I wanted to learn to do. This contest gave me the confidence and the impetus to try it. So Badass Canadian, I thank you so much, my brother, for having this contest. Win, lose, or draw, I've gained a mountain full of information through this experience, and I thank you so much for doing this and for the opportunity to participate in my very first model contest ever. And to all the other builders, the best of luck to you. And if I've saved any of my brothers in the modeling community any pain today, any disappointment, then this video and this whole contest for me has been more than worth it. Enjoy the slide presentation to follow. This is the Geo Doctor coming from the Geo Doctor's office, wishing each and every one of you good health. Good health to your families. Take care of yourself, please. Bye for now. Later.